Welcome to video lecture series on operating systems. In this class, I will be covering multi-level queue scheduling, thread scheduling, and also multiple processor scheduling. Myself, Dr. Prakash Achunki. In this multi-level queue scheduling, we are dividing the processes into 5 or 6 types as shown in the diagram. Example: system processes, interactive processes, interactive editing processes, batch processes, then student processes. The system processes will be assigned the highest priority. The next priority has been given to interactive, and the priority will be decreasing to the interactive editing process, then batch process. Finally, the student process will be having the lowest priority. You can also take one more example of the multi-level queue where the ready queue is partitioned into separate queues. Example: foreground interactive processes and background batch processes. Process permanently in a given queue, either in the foreground or background. Each queue has its own scheduling algorithm, which we discussed, like foreground may be in the round robin algorithm and background process may be in the first come first serve algorithm. We may use any other algorithm such as shortest job first and also other preemptive and also non-preemptive algorithms. Scheduling must be done between the queues here. In the fixed priority scheduling, that is, serve all from foreground, then from background. So possibility of starvation. The meaning of starvation is the process may not be executed in the system. Time slice. Each queue gets a certain amount of CPU time which it can schedule among the processes. Example: we can assign 80% time to the foreground in round robin fashion and 20% to foreground in FCFS. We'll see next multi-level feedback queue scheduling algorithm. A process can move between the various queues. Aging can be implemented this way. Multi-level feedback queue scheduler defined by the following parameters such as number of queues, scheduling algorithm for each queue, method used to determine when to upgrade a process, method used to determine when to demote a process, method used to determine which queue a process will enter when that process needs service. We'll see one example of multi-level feedback queue scheduling algorithm. In the diagram as shown, we are dividing the process into 3 types of queues. One is the round robin algorithm, that is 3 queues here, Q0 round robin algorithm with time quantum 8 milliseconds, and Q1, that is this second queue, round robin time quantum with 16 milliseconds, and third one here the Q2 FCFS. In this example, let us see the how scheduling happens. A new job enters Q0 here, which is served FCFS. It is when the job enters into Q0 here. Even though here we mentioned that it is a round robin algorithm, the processes inside the system are executed in the first come first serve order. When it gains CPU, job receives 8 milliseconds as per round robin algorithm. If it does not finish in 8 milliseconds, job is moved to Q1. That is, and if the process is completed here within using this 8 millisecond time or 8 units of time, it will be terminated and it will go out of the system. If the job does not complete, it is degraded from Q0 to Q1. Again at Q1, job is given 16 milliseconds of time, and again the jobs are executed in the FCFS order in the Q1 also, and receives total 16 additional milliseconds because the job has already executed for 8 milliseconds and it will execute for another 16 milliseconds. If it still does not complete, it is degraded to the Q2, that is FCFS queue. If the job is completed, it will be terminated. Here, when the job is not completed, we are moving the job from Q0 to Q1. It is called as preemption here. Then again the process will be executed in the FCFS order. Afterwards the jobs will be completed. Let us see the next topic, that is thread scheduling. We have to make distinction between the user level and also kernel level threads. which we discussed in the thread chapter or multi-level threading chapter. When threads supported, threads are scheduled, not the processes, because we are dividing the process into number of threads. Many-to-one and many-to-many models of threading. Thread library schedules user level threads to run on the lightweight process, or we call it as a LWP, or we call it as a kernel level thread. It is known as process contention scope, or PCS, since scheduling computation is within the process. That is, in the PCS, we select one kernel process for the n number of user processes, typically done via priority set by the programmer. Kernel level thread scheduled onto available CPU is system contention scope computation among all threads in the system. That is, in the system contention scope, out of the n number of kernel level threads, one kernel thread will be assigned to CPU. Next, we'll discuss about multiple processor scheduling. That is, when the number of processors are more in the system. CPU scheduling more complex when multiple CPUs are available. The homogeneous processor within a processor, multiprocessor, that is, all the processors are having the equal power and they are similar. There are two types of multiprocessing. First one is asymmetric multiprocessing. Only one processor accesses the system data structure, elevating the need for data sharing. That is, one processor acts as a master, remaining processors act as a slave. In the symmetric multiprocessing or SMP architecture, each processor is self-scheduling. All processes in the common ready queue, or each has its own private queue of ready processes. So currently this SMP is used in the recent architectures, and in the SMP architecture, all the processors are treated equal. Processor affinity. The process has affinity for processor on which it is currently running. That is, once the process has been assigned to a processor, it wants to execute in the same processor. There are two types of affinity. One is called as soft affinity and one more is hard affinity. In the soft affinity, the process, once it is assigned to a processor, we allocate the process to a fixed processor, but there is no guarantee. That is, the process may be executed in a different processor. In the hard affinity, once the process has been assigned to one processor, it is fixed, we cannot change it. And the variations are, instead of executing the process in a fixed processor, the process may be executed in one of the processor, or we can call it as a processor sets. Let us see the CPU scheduling in the NUMA architecture, or we call it as a non-uniform memory access. The opposite of the NUMA is UMA, that is uniform memory access. As shown in the diagram, there are two processors here, processors CPU1 and also CPU2, and each CPU is having its own memory. Here also we are having the connected memory. The CPU, when it accesses its own memory, it is faster, that is fast access. But if the same CPU, when it accesses the other memories, then it will be slow access. Because of this, it is called as non-uniform memory access. If the time required to access the memory is same for all the memories, then we can call it as a uniform memory access. Let us see multiple processor scheduling, that is load balancing. If SMP, that is symmetric multiprocessing, need to keep all CPUs loaded for efficiency. Load balancing attempts to keep the workload evenly distributed among all the processors. Push migration. Periodic task checks load on each processor, and if found, pushes tasks from overloaded CPU to other CPUs. That is, if the one processor is having more work, we are pushing those tasks to other CPUs. Pull migration. Idle processors pulls awaiting tasks from busy processor. Let us see the multi-core processors. Example like i3 processor, i5 processor, they are called as multi-core processors. Design trend to place multiple processor cores on same physical chip. Faster and consumes less power. Multiple threads per core also growing. Takes advantage of memory stall to make progress on another thread while memory retrieve happens. Let us understand the importance of multi-threaded multi-core system. In the first diagram, Here we have shown single threaded, single core system here, and when we try to execute the process here, first there is one compute cycle, the process will be computed, and when it requires certain data from the memory, it has to wait for the memory, and therefore it has to wait for memory here. It is called as memory stall cycle. Again there is one compute cycle, then followed by the memory stall cycle, and because of this only 50% of the total time is utilized and remaining 50% is wasted. To avoid this wastage, we go for the multi-threaded multi-core architecture. In the as shown in the diagram here, we are having the two threads, thread 0 and also thread 1, and we try to execute on two cores, or we can call them as processor cores. In the thread 0 we start computation, and when the thread 0 requires memory, that is when it is stored for memory, then we use the thread 1 with the core 1 to execute certain task here, that is computation cycle. Then similarly when the thread 1 requires the memory, then in this case we execute the certain task in the thread 0, that is compute cycle. And because of this, whenever there is a memory stall, one computation takes place, and similarly when the memory stall occurs in the thread 1, the computation occurs in the thread 0. Because of this, the efficiency will be improved. This completes the end of chapter. Thank you.